everyone, welcome back to Star's Youth Mentoring channel. My name is Amy, and if you're new here, we like to talk about past experiences, any mistakes that I've made as a teen, and we like to talk about some celebrity gossip or celebrity news if it's relevant to the topic. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. Today we're going to be discussing a very serious topic. Some of the topics that are going to be mentioned today involve child abuse, sexual abuse, as well as substance abuse. If any of these topics are triggering for you or cause any sort of psychological distress, I suggest that you don't watch this video and maybe just catch me on the next video because your mental health matters. Recently, Drake Bell talked about his experiences as a child star. In 1986, Drake Bell was born in California. He is best known for being an actor and a singer. He was also featured in TV shows such as Drake and Josh, the Fairly Odd movie, and the movie Arlo. So Drake Bell was recently on a documentary called Quiet on the Set, which is a documentary that is exposing the dark side of children's television. He made allegations against former Nickelodeon acting and dialogue coach Brian Peck. Drake alleges that Brian Peck was sexually assaulting him. Drake Bell is quoted saying that there was one incident where he was sleeping on the couch and woke up to Brian Peck sexually assaulting him. He stated that the alleged abuse got worse and worse, and that Brian Peck would make a lot of excuses, allegedly, I guess little reasons to have Drake Bell alone with him or having Drake constantly come over his house. Drake alleges that this all took place when he was around the age of 15 years old. I want to provide you guys with a clear definition of sexual assault just in case there's any confusion. When someone says sexual assault, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, that is all defined as sexual activity that occurs without consent, without equality, or is a result of physical or emotional coercion. How do you know if you're being sexually harassed or sexually abused? Inappropriate jokes involving sex. Request sexual favors from you even after you said no. Unwanted touching. So if someone keeps touching private area, hair, body when you don't want them to, that is considered sexual harassment. And receiving unwanted photos of someone else's private parts or someone else taking a picture of your private parts without your consent. Drake Bell claimed that after this abuse, he started to drink and do heavy drugs, and he was having issues with his sobriety. So meaning he would stay sober for a while, but then he would relapse and go through the same cycle again. In 2021, Drake Bell also pled guilty to 2 charges involving online interactions with an underage fan. Now, this was really sad to see because I remember growing up, I remember watching Drake and Josh and just how funny the show was, dry humor. And you know, I used to look up to these kids, especially in Nickelodeon. I used to look up to these child stars because I figured they didn't have to go to school. They were popular because they were on TV. I really thought that these kids on Nickelodeon were living the high life. What Drake said, all alleged. We don't know how Brian Peck feels about this. We do know that Brian Peck is a registered sex offender and was charged for lewd acts against a child. And people are putting 2 and 2 together, and they are saying that Drake Bell was the child that led to Brian Peck's conviction. So anyway, when we look at Drake Bell's allegations, drug abuse, you know, Drake was saying that he started to lose his hair. He was getting scabs in his head. He was very stressed out. We can really see the aftermath of abuse. If these allegations are true, I'm sure that this brought a lot of confusion as far as his sexuality and as far as his identity and confidence. Drake Bell did plead guilty to inappropriate interactions with an underage fan, and that also shows you that when people go through pain and when people go through trauma, especially sexual sexual trauma, they sometimes grow up with the idea that what they've experienced is okay. Let me say for the record, I am not accusing Drake Bell of intentionally harming anyone or having any thoughts of being a child predator. I am just explaining that oftentimes with trauma, it tends to be repeated after generations, especially when we do not have the proper outlet to handle and process what we've been through. I went through a similar situation like this in school. When I was in middle school, I had a classmate that would make sexual remarks about me, almost threats. And it got to the point where he was starting to touch my personal belongings and smell my coat. It did become a legal issue that now has since passed. It was something that was very traumatic for me at the time. When researching this topic as well, it sounds like a lot of celebrities came to the defense of Nickelodeon staff members every time these allegations from different child stars would happen. It seems like Drake Bell really didn't have anyone to turn to. Of course, he's gonna turn to drinking and drugs like that, and like I said, anything to hide the pain. And that's similar to what I felt in school, because I felt like, beside, of course, my parents knew, my parents were supportive, I felt like the school just sat there and they didn't do anything about it. If these allegations are true with Drake Bell, Drake, I pray for your healing. I hope that, you process this and you're able to get the justice that you need. If this revelation from the docu-series turns into like something else and turns into an open case, I will keep you guys updated. Again, if any of you are experiencing any sort of sexual harassment, abuse, it is important for you to report it. It is not your fault. It does not matter if it happened when you were sneaking out. It doesn't matter if it happened when you were somewhere where you weren't supposed to be. You deserve justice. Thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode from Star's Youth Mentoring channel. I hope that you have a great day. Bye!